Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for a just kind of a mixed bag vinyl update. There's all kind of stuff in here, very varied genres. Stuff I've listened to over the last couple months. A lot of this stuff, some of the stuff I picked up 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm just getting around to spinning it. And you know, because of Christmas, November, all the sales and all the stuff that was going on, I bought quite a bit, and my inbox is still very full. I'm trying to spend a little more time with the vinyl this year. I've gotten a bad habit of listening to it once and throwing it in the collection, so I'm trying not to do that as much this year. So let's just kind of jump into it. I don't know if you can hear it. I've got it down pretty low, but in the background, I'm listening to the Meat Puppets. This is their second album, Meat Puppets 2. Growing up in Phoenix, you couldn't get away from the Meat Puppets. They're a local band. They're all over the place. And you know, it's just one of those things, one of those bands I just kind of grew up with, and they've always been there. I've always liked them. This is an original first pressing that I ran across for a really good price. These usually go, you know, in the $30-$40 range. I picked it up for less than half of that, so couldn't pass up on that one. Next up, this was a cool find. This is an album that I probably wouldn't have bought had I not ran across this particular version. This one is a UK pressing, and it's a UK RCA music service. I didn't know that they had the music hubs in the UK like they do here in the US, but a UK pressing of The Doors, best of. I've got pretty much every song on here. I don't think there's anything special on here that was never released anywhere else. Next up, adding to the Against Me collection, New Wave. I've talked about Against Me a lot. Again, I'm not going to talk about them too much in this video, just because I am going to do an Against Me video where I go over their entire discography. But this is the it's on black and yellow vinyl. This was kind of their. This was the album that got them out there in the public. This is the 2015 repress on Asbestos Records. Next up, another punk band that I've talked about quite a bit. This is kind of a super group. It's a cover band. This is Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. And this one's Blowin' the Wind. And they usually pick a different genre for each one of their albums. They've done a country album. They've done a Japanese J-pop album. They've done a Divas album where it's all songs from Divas. This one has Blowin' in the Wind, Sloop John B, Who Put the Bop. Let's see, different drum. Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, San Francisco, All My Lovin', Runaway. Just another killer album from Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Next up, absolutely love this album. I was really excited when I heard this was coming out, and I just never ran across it, so I was real happy to find this. This is the Fugazi's first demo on vinyl. Really cool to have. My favorite songs on here are Bad Mouth and Waiting Room. Waiting Room has always been one of my favorite Fugazi songs, but every song on this album is awesome. And honestly, anything with Ian MacKaye, I highly recommend picking up. The guy is an absolute genius. I've never heard anything that he's put out that I haven't absolutely loved. Next up, just a classic album. This is Red from King Crimson. I found this thing is in dead mint condition. It's a UK pressing, and I don't know if you can read that, but it's a half-speed master. I think I found this for like $15. It sounds absolutely beautiful. Probably my second favorite album from King Crimson, behind Court of the Crimson King. This is one that shocked me. I saw this on Record Store Day, this last Record Store Day. And I just thought it was way too expensive. Everywhere I saw it, it was between $38 and $45, and I just wasn't going to pay that. And I went into my local used store and I found it for $20. Somebody, I guess, just didn't like it. But this is Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's a radio broadcast. He sounds absolutely amazing. Really good pressing. It's on white and gray vinyl. But it's Stevie Ray, man. You just can't go wrong. Next up, another local Phoenix band that I grew up with. Alt pop, I guess you would call them. This is an album that I've loved since the first day I heard it. And it's, what was it? Fizzy Fuzzy Big and Buzzy from the Refreshments. The big songs on here were Mekong, Mexico, and then I can't remember the song about the pawn shop. I can't remember which one that is. But just beginning to end, this is an awesome album. Again, I've loved this one since the day it came out. I actually saw them a couple of times in Phoenix. Well, I saw them one time before they got real big, and then I saw them one time a few years later. They always did a real good show. I was upset when they broke up, but I don't know if you can hear that. This next one, it was just kind of a blind buy. I was somewhat familiar with the name. I wasn't sure if it was rock. I had a feeling it was hard rock for some reason. It turned out to be prog, and really good prog at that. This is Old Lives Die Hard from Triumvirate. I believe this is their second album. I'd have to look again. It's been about a month since I listened to this, but this is one that I really dug. Just really good straight up 70s prog. This is from 74, I believe. 76. This one was pretty cool. This is the Silver Beatles, which is one of the Beatles' names before they finally settled on the Beatles. I think they went through 2 or 3 names, and these are all songs. Oh, let me see. I believe these were all songs they recorded while they were in Germany, but it's got Three Cool Cats, Memphis, Besame Mucho, Shake of Araby, Till There Was You, Searchin', and Sure to Fall. These are both, I have both of them. I haven't listened to the second one yet. This is volume 1. They usually go for $10 to $15 a piece, and I ended up finding them, both of them sealed for $8. So I thought it was a really good deal. Grabbed them. Just really early Beatles. If you're a Beatles fan, you've likely heard this before. This stuff's been released a number of times, but this is the first time I had seen it listed as the Silver Beatles, so I grabbed that. And it's not a bootleg. That's a legitimate press. It was released in the UK and in Canada. I'm not sure why it was never released here, though. Next up, just add to the Jimi Hendrix collection. This is the Jimi Hendrix concerts. Just all of his big hits. Really good sound quality. I believe this one was just recently one of the ones that was recently repressed. This is the original pressing, though, from '82. But like I said, all the classics: Fire I Don't Live Today, Red House, Stone Free Are You Experience, Little Wing, Voodoo Child, Bleeding Heart, Hey Joe, Wild Thing, and Hear My Train Coming. So nothing that a Hendrix fan hasn't heard or hasn't been released on, a dozen other albums, but it's Hendrix, gotta have it. This next one's an upgrade. I have another copy of this. This is actually a UK pressing. The original copy I had was a US pressing, but this is Rockin' the Fillmore, Humble Pie. Just a really good live set. This is actually my favorite Humble Pie album. Next up, I went to one of my local record stores, marked down a bunch of represses to $10 for Record Store Day. And when I went there about a month ago, they still had a few of them, and this was one of them. They had a bunch of these. I don't know if people just didn't know who the band was, but this is, I believe, the second or third album from the Amboy Dukes. This is Migration. And they still hadn't found that hard rock sound yet. This is still kind of that, it's kind of a psych feel to it. I'm trying to think when this one was originally released. I can't remember if this was in the 60s or 70s. This may have been late 60s. Next up, just an absolute classic. I've got 2 or 3 copies of this. This is the 2012 stereo repress, Abbey Road. I go back and forth between which is my favorite, between Abbey Road and Let It Be, but by far the Abbey Road Let It Be sessions put out some of my all-time favorite music. I mean, these 2 albums are just absolutely amazing. And this was technically the last recording to come out by the Beatles. Let It Be came out after, but Let It Be was actually recorded first. I don't remember the whole story behind that whole situation. But next up, finishing up, actually I need one more album to finish up the Perfect Circle collection, but this is 13th Step. My wife and I used to listen to this nonstop. She doesn't listen to a lot of the real heavy stuff that I'm into. But she does like a lot of the alternative, a lot of the off-the-wall stuff, and Perfect Circle definitely fits in there. Actually, the night that I met my wife, we were listening to the first Perfect Circle album was playing in our car. So Perfect Circle's always kind of been a thing between us. Next up is Invisible Touch remix version. This is a 12-inch single for Genesis. That's got Invisible Touch. The remix on the A side, the B side is the LP version of Invisible Touch, and then The Last Domino. And last but not least for this update, this one I was going to show on the hard rock in my next hard rock heavy metal video. This album, though, they haven't really gotten that hard rock sound. This is still more the southern rock sound, but this is an absolutely amazing album. This one I've never seen anybody show for some reason. This is Flying High for Blackfoot. Everybody shows their animal series where they've got the snake or the tiger, the cheetah, whatever it is, the panther. They show those, and I've never seen anybody show their first couple albums, but just really good stuff from Blackfoot. So that's pretty much it, vinyl community. Tell me what you think. Give me your thoughts on these albums, any recommendations that you may have. Other than that, have a great week and take care. Or I should say, have a great weekend and take care. Bye, VC.